bright it is. It's so sunny right now. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel, you wonderful human beings. For a Liam and Joe show time, but different day, I'm going to do some painting. If you've watched the channel since the Adepticon reveals, you know how excited I got for Space Wolves. So I dug out an old Ragnar model that I hadn't yet built, and is like one of my favourite loyalist built, like made characters. He's like my favourite loyalist model character, I think, probably. So I dug him out, and I'm very excited about Space Wolves right now. I had left him in the box for ages. I'd left this guy in the box for ages because I was so incredibly concerned that new Space Wolves would go down the werewolfy, furry kind of vibe, and I was not into that at all. And then when I saw the releases on Adepticon, I honestly think that even if some of the other stuff goes down the wolfy vibe, I could just avoid it. I could take the headhunters, take the battle leader, take the priest, take Ragnar, take the blood claws, take the grey hunters, and be perfectly happy. Legitimately be perfectly happy. So I'm still on the March grind because March has been a financial disaster. I don't know if I've mentioned that a few times. So I thought, I was sat here today going, do I do some video game streaming or do I do some painting streaming? Definitely some painting streaming tonight. And I was like, probably should stick this out to the main channel actually. So I drove over to the studio, grabbed another camera so we can show you this angle, and I'm ready to get painting. Well, the rules reveal or only new minis. Only new minis so far, as far as I'm aware. Looks all. Can't believe that you've jumped on the Space Wolves army now. Complete left turn. That you love Viking and Norse themes. No one would have ever seen that coming. Yeah. Today I'm mostly layering to create metallic purple lilac for my noisy boys. Enjoying painting. Enjoy painting, Mr. Lim. Hey. So yeah, I have to continue the grind because this month has been bad, very bad. Is that clear enough? I've put manual focus on so that I reckon it's gonna be mostly about there. So about there, I guess. That looks about right, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna start painting this guy. I don't know where to start. I do have literally on my desk the box art. I am painting everything by the box art apart from the actual grey because I don't like the baby blue. I don't like baby blue at all. So I'm gonna go this box art apart from that grey. So I've started with an airbrush base of Mechanicum standard grey. I have spoken to a good friend of mine to ask him what other colours I should use. So I've got my edge colours, but I think to start with I'm going to start painting on some of the runic stuff, some of the detail. Start putting the black in on the bits in between the armour so I can touch up with Mechanicum standard grey if I need to. Very bright background. Well, I can remove the tissue. I can move the tissue over here, and then you get miniature there, right? That's probably better, isn't it? Thank you for the feedback. So yeah, I've got to fill in all these bits before I start putting a wash on. Maybe get some of the base colours on the actual base down as well, which I'm going to do slightly differently. So that's what I'm going to start today. I have sub-assembled the cloak piece separately, and I have sub-assembled the bit that sits across the front of his chest and his shoulder separately. They're not sprayed yet. They're not Mechanicum standard grey. They just flat haven't been sprayed. I was concerned about how close the colour was though. So yeah, thank you so much, Rossonero, by the way, for 10 gifted memberships, and thank you, Whitey55, for the 1 as well. It says 12, it is 11, but thank you, you wonderful human beings. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to kind of get started, and I thought I'd put it on stream and hang out with you people. How are you basing wolves? Typical Fenris, typical Snow Fenris. I don't know. I kind of want to do the Snow because it's very typical, but I kind of don't want to do the Snow because it's very typical. So not particularly helpful, I know. But yeah, I'm unsure at the moment. And this is so bright right now because we have clear blue skies and beautiful sunshine outside the window, and I don't want to shut the curtains because it's so nice. So if you can cope with me being incredibly pale and bright, I'd be very grateful, because I want to experience the sun for a bit. If that's okay. Put my water cup here, actually, I think. I have my palette here. Like that, maybe, for now. Do you care about seeing the palette? Is that a thing you give a shit about?
Have some money for your correct choice of grey. 40k SW look great in that shade.
Thank you so much, O'Clock. Yeah, I don't hate the baby blue. It's not for me. It's not quite Viking enough for me being baby blue. Add a bit of water to this Corvus black mix. I need to make sure it flows nicely. You look glowing, thanks, mate.
Liam, we list idea on Wing DPW Arch, Juglord with Warp Mo, 2x Jiggles, Zerx, Rhino, FF, 1x6C8B, Bloodletters and Skabrand. I call it Magic Missile.
Winged Even Prince with Arch Slaughterer, Jugglerlord with Warp Mo. What's Warp Mo? 2 times Jackal, Zerx, Rhino. Forge Fiend, 1 times 6 Exotic 8 Bound, Bloodletters and Scarbrand. I love Scarbrand in this new version of Demons. What's Warp Mo? Tell me what Warp Mo is. Are you going loyalist now since Chaos reveals the shit? No, I'm still working on my Blood Angels army. My Blood Angels or my Wild Eaters army. I'm still going to be doing that. I finally have a loyalist army I can be excited about, and the loyalist reveals for Space Wolves is it's just better than anything Chaos have had so far. It's Vessels. Vessels for me is the best attachment for Wild Eaters at the moment. Tom wasn't sure because Berserker Warband is so good for Angron, but I said that I think Vessels has the better play overall and the more consistency, and he's now played it quite a lot, and I think he's now in a place where he agrees with me. So going quite watered down Corvus in these crevices right now, because if I go quite watered down Corvus, then logically it almost self-highlights. But I'd also rather do multiple thin layers if in case I need to correct and do loads of big thick layers. So I'm going to drop my chair a little bit because I don't want the arms to be hitting the desk. The idea at the moment is just to be blocking in all the base colours today. And there'll still be a hobby stream tonight as well, and it'll be more of this, I'd imagine. I honestly don't think I was this motivated to paint when the new Eldar releases came out. Is the focus off there? Because this is where it's going to sit. That's better, isn't it? If the focus is off, team, shout, because I won't see it because I'm looking at the model. But I want to be a semi-competent hobby stream. I am also thinking about doing a little bit more of this on Mondays. Anyway, thank you so much for all the gifts so far. Thank you so much for the 2 super chats as well. You people are amazing. You see me concentrating now, which is very rare. Hey, Mr. the War Hipster. I miss you. I miss your voice. I miss DMZ mostly because it means I miss you. Oh, overflowed there a bit. It's okay though. How many detachments did DA and BA get? Am I wrong to think 3 detachments for Space Wolves is low? Dark Angels was 3 or 4 and Blood Angels was 3. I'm pretty sure Blood Angels was 3, not including Grotmess. Hard to say. I'm pretty sure they both got 3. I'm a correct as I go kind of person. So if I make a mistake, I'll correct almost straight away. And if I make the mistake again, I'll correct again. And it's not necessarily the most time efficient, but it means I've got the least chance of forgetting mistakes. I'm not what you would consider a very competent painter, so the more chance I have to avoid keeping mistakes on, the better it's going to be. So we'll tidy that little bit of mech standard grep there. But I'm going to be doing that a few times, I've got no doubt. Like a nice point. Corvus Black has very quickly become one of my favourite colours as well. Get a little bit more slapdash in here because it's covered by a pistol pouch. So I did build the main parts of the cloak and the main parts of the front piece because I wanted to see what was going to be hidden. I didn't want to spend hours layering and highlighting something that would then be hidden. That would be mad. When it comes to painting Marines, I haven't done loads and loads and loads of it, but I always like to do the soft parts in here first. These are often quite intricate. Now where Ballot needs to be more servo school then. I don't know. All I'd done for this before today is I'd base coated it with Vallejo black primer and then airbrushed Mechanicum standard grey. And I don't like, this is personal preference and there's no wrong way of doing it, but I don't like Zenithal highlights with like rattle cans or airbrushes and then putting colours over the top. I think it looks awful. I've always thought it looks awful. I think it looks really bad. So this is just rattle can, Vallejo black covered in Mechanicum standard grey, straight out of the pot, bit thinner, just go for a solid coat. I've personally never liked Zenithal highlighting with rattle cans or airbrushes and then put colours over the top. I really don't like it. My biggest reason for not liking it actually isn't even the way it looks, because it looks okay. My biggest reason for not liking it is that it's near impossible if you make a mistake, and I make lots of mistakes, to go back in and correct it. It won't look the same. It's not to say there's anything wrong with the technique, it's just I'm just not a fan. Hey, Stick Monkey, how's it going, dude? Yeah, there's lots of little soft armour there, right underneath, and I'm sure some of this is never going to be seen by the light of day. But I don't apply logic to it. Gosh. The hipster painters aren't they? Don't want you to apply logic to it. Thank you for the one gifted, Sean. If the painting stream gods are rewarded, the painting streams will continue. Especially with Space Wolves coming. Just throws my fucking heads over it. Josh, those people that paint on stream or on camera, like people like Mr. The Josh in the chat, props to you. It's really fucking hard. It's really fucking hard. Got my definition on it now. Pretty sure these bits are fully covered up by his cloak. But I know they're here. So what I can do in a minute is I can dry fit and see what I can see. So what we've got on the desk right here, oh, dropped it. What we've got on the desk right here is we do have his cloak, so we can dry fit the cloak on. He says. That bit you get to see. That bit not so much. Okay. Thank you for the one gifted, Sean. Anyway, man, you're a legend. That puts us on 12 so far. Don't believe the tracker. Do we have a Discord? We do indeed, sir. Exclamation mark Discord in chat. He's smaller and less painted than he looked in Thames. Different one, isn't it? Get a second layer on some of these little bits. All about money with him. I'm afraid it is, mate, yeah. It's how the relationship works, mate. Now, if I remember rightly, this little tooth sword piece on its leg is also a black colour. And there's that bit behind the knee there that I've missed. And the hilt of his sword is also black. try and get this bit inside of his ear.
Beautiful master of executions proxy.
I'm pretty sure this is the third or fourth time you've said that, Nick, and I'm pretty sure you're just trying to trigger people. Him as the master of executions is better than any other new model that fucking World Eater's got, innit? I don't hate the 8-bound guy for reference, I just don't love it. If you took that other 8-bound guy to a tournament and said it's just another 8-bound, no one would know any different. That's how unstandouty he is. Oh, thank you, Okigor. Oh. I am, however, so happy. I said it already. I'll say it again. I'm sure I'll say it a few more times. I'm so happy they went down the Nordic route. I'm so happy. Traded that exact model for 20 boys and 20 and 10 Storm boys. What, you got the Storm boys or you got Ragnar? Which side of the deal are you on? GK. What's Joe painting at the moment? Wouldn't you like to know? You do a lot of terrain. He whined about some terrain that I didn't buy him, and I reminded him of all the unpainted, unbuilt terrain in the terrain room. Now he's on a terrain push. Harder than I expected it to be. I'm trying to use the raised part of the model here to take some paint off the brush. Essentially, get the edges and the definition without having to be that accurate. Because when I stream, I have to have the light up quite high, so it's not in front of the camera, which is fine, but it does mean that when it comes to painting certain parts on a grey model, there's not a lot of definition. So I'm going to grab some of the edges here by using the brush and hope when I stick a wash over the top of it, it catches the definition. I am also quite excited for Space Wolves to learn to paint faces properly for the first time ever, because I've never really done it. Where's the focal point? There. What I'm going to do, chat. Do I? How much do we care? So if I go to F8, and then I go to ISO. Is that too bright? I'm trying to improve the focal range. So now, if I pull the focus to there, it's a lot clearer, isn't it? See all the mistakes I've made already. Hoping that the Nile oil wash will pick up most of the rest of this. Yeah, let's hope. What's the colour of this little wolfy pelt thing on his waist? Does it show me? It's like a blonde colour. That's all black. Inside that central piece is also supposed to be black. Interesting. So let's try and inside this belt piece is supposed to be black as well. So what we can do is we can be relatively slapdash in here. And we can get some black inside these lines here. And if I run over, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to be picking out later a different colour. I'm a bit nervous by this thigh. Try and use the grooves to guide the brush. Little hip armor piece here. Okay, got it in. Runs all the way around the back. Is it? Okay. We're here for it. Again, I'm going to start high and let the brush feed in. Just try and keep it away from the nice grey armour that we probably won't be able to see anyway. Beautiful. I like the subtlety of Corvus Black. It's such a nice black because it's not overly harsh. Right, we've got the bits on the arms to try and fill in now. If you're new to the channel, by the way, or you're just joining us, I will add a caveat right now. This is absolutely not, it never should be treated as a painting guide. Thank you, Kev, for 5 gifted. What a legend. Officially now, we're on 17. What does it say? 22. Good. You've gained 5 out of her, haven't you? I'll manually update it in a second. Thank you, Tank, for the 1 gifted. Fucking hero. There is also, chat, by the way, there is a massive risk that if they go full Viking vibe on Space Wolves, there is a massive risk that my favourite faction of all time could change. Gonna warn you now, it's a concern. Under the hand black. Okay, well, I guess. I am box arting this model apart from the shade of grey. I actually intend to carry this on stream tonight as well. How would you feel about third-party bits, Liam? Would you ever use them to decorate walls? Third-party bits are fine. I own a bunch of Nordic shields in the past. Like, so I said this before. I think people don't necessarily believe me, but I've tried to start walls a few times in the past, but I can't get on with the furry vibe. So I can't use Thunderwolves and Wolfen. And historically, if you don't use those units, they really struggle. They're not really very good. But this is, I've tried to start them 2 or 3 times, I think minimum 3 times in the past. So this will be like the 4th occasion of starting wolves. This time they're making the Nordic vibe for me and I don't have to do it myself. In the past, I have bought third-party parts to convert the wolves. So I bought a bunch of Viking round shields that fitted on blade guard hands. I'm okay with third-party parts. I'm not okay with direct copies of Games Workshop miniatures. Oh no, I knew I'd fucking do that. Let's get some war on it straight away. I splodged, but I caught it early. I think they've learned not to go full wolf after somewhat backlash against the space. Do you think the designs of the 40k Space Wolf models were done since the 30k heads, or do you think they've been done? Do you think they were done before that? I'd love to know what the actual lead time on model production is. Like from concept to design to machinery to sale. I'd love to know what that time frame actually looks like. I think the gap inside here, we'll just let non-loyal do its job in there, I reckon. I don't think we'll try and get a brush in there. Just let non-loyal do its thing. Three to 4 years. Is that from like concept design to like where's that start? Where's that 3 year start though, Andy? Can't do the rope around here in Corvus as well. Or do we? Curiouser and curiouser. In that case, you should check out Primal Hounds pack from Grey Tide. Some gorgeous bits in there. See, and there is, and I'm not saying that they're not good bits. But if GW bring all these Viking vibe stuff out in plastic, I'll never touch a resin bit for them if I can help it. Can I just buy Space Marine kits and turn those into Space Wolves? Do I have to get Space Wolf kits specifically? You do not have to get Space Wolf kits specifically. I'm just now actually getting into collecting Space Marines. I've plugged in other armies before. My question is, if I just buy regular Space Marines, can I turn them into Space Wolves, for example? Yes. Mostly paint job. The one thing I will say is the Space Wolves Codex is coming. We don't know if they're going to not be allowed to have certain Space Marine units, which is the only real risk you have. So if you decide you want to take, I don't know, standard Brutalis Dreadnoughts, it's possible, although I think unlikely, that the Space Marine Codex comes out and says you can't take Brutalis Dreadnoughts in Space Wolves, you have to take Wolfen Dreadnoughts. So I would suggest waiting for the Codex, which I think will be relatively soon-ish based on the roadmap they showcase, but I'm aware that their roadmaps are also terrible. So yeah, it's hard. But they're going to be doing some upgrade sprees. Like some of the things I think will be okay-ish. You could build Intercessors, and then you can make them Space Wolves, and then they might go, you can't take Intercessors, you can only take Grey Hunters. But they're functionally the same. They have the same weapons, so you'll be all right. You know. Let's sort the tracker out. It's not 24. It's actually 19. Banging. Does it give you hope for eventual Even Rust vibes that will be Odin as you previously hoped? I mean, yeah, but it's Games Workshop. So it gives me hope, but I have a slither that I don't want to hold on to too hard. Because it's Games Workshop, Kaz. And let's be honest, Nick, you know exactly what they're like, mate. So this is one of my favourite metallics that Games Workshop do. Balthazar Gold is one of the best coppery kind of colours you can get. It's not a gold colour. Don't care what it says. Not gold. It's a copper. Beautiful copper, but it is a copper. Yeah, I do have hope right now. So I have touched the gold on the tip of the sword thing, but I'm okay with it because I can go back in and tidy it up easy enough. I probably should have put this on first, but I was already working with the black. Getting the consistency of this stuff right can be a challenge though. Banging. Early stream, double stream. Still strumming fish. Double stream. You can't see that, can you? Yeah, I wanted to get a bunch of painting done today, and I figured, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well try and do it on stream. Extra content for the content gods. I'm going to guess that the diamond around his arm is also laced in bronze. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I would have done too. Do you think Wolfen could get a new kit that you'd actually like? No. The whole concept of them, I don't really like it. I sit in that small section of the I think Space Wolf player stroke fan base, and I don't know if I'd be interested to actually know if this is majority or minority. I feel like it's minority, but I would happily see Wolf and Thunderwolves disappear and never return. I feel sorry for anybody who spent time, effort, and money on them. But I'm really not a fan. Like, at all. Get on. No, join the Eric. Join the Space Wolves. Don't do Ultramarines. Plenty of Ultramarines in the world as it is. Yeah, I'm aware. I think I'm probably in the minority, but if they keep them, I don't mind too much. As long as the stuff that's not ridiculously wolfy and werewolfy is still usable and playable, I don't care. The people that like that stuff can go and play that stuff, and the people that don't, don't. It's just not my vibe. Well, I'm going to do this bit and I'll bring it back onto camera, I promise. Better see what I'm doing, don't I? I forgot the fucking hilts in black as well, didn't I? Wolf and I can understand. I'd be more if they kept one and got rid of the other. I'd rather they kept Wolfen and got rid of Thunderwolves than the other way around. Like, that's the way around I'd like to see it. The idea of Space Marines riding giant wolves into battle is, for me, dumb. But hey, it's all personal preference. That's what makes the hobby beautiful, isn't it? That's my opinion. There'll be people that agree with me. There'll be people that disagree with me. Caused by chat. There's a bug about it. Well, YouTube still haven't got back to me about anything at all. They still haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. Fenris and Wolves, cool as shit. Happy with those. I'd like them to be a little bit smaller. Like actual man and dog size. Right, I need to bring this out of focus because I can't see it properly. Probably should be wearing my glasses, really. they are more dire wolves. Which I'm kind of into, I guess. I'm okay with it. Okay. Progress is being made. Interestingly, they've done the skull and crossbones on his chest there in a bone colour. Which is interesting. We can try and pick these wolves out now. So let's get the focus right. Delicate little bits, this, isn't it? Miss watching GTA. How good that game was. It's great, isn't it? Well, the current problem is every stream gets wildly demonetized. I have to darken the black down on that belt. Very, very black on here. Hey, Limey Thunder. Going blacker on the belt because we need blacker. Touch up the bronze again in a moment, so it's not a problem. This doesn't stand out enough for that particular part of the model. Enjoy painting the rest of the Space Wolf box? No. Whenever we get it, it's mine. He gets everything. He gets everything and he still complains, so no. My turn. If that means it's a bit late, so be it. Now black is blacker now, isn't it? Yeah, I think we're happy with that. My second go-to black. One of the very few non-GW paints I actually use. How some is World Eaters and Space Wolves playstyle? I don't know actually. In my experience, they've not been that similar. Space Wolves is like epic deed character. Cool shit. World Eaters is charge everything. Thank you for one gifted, Evan. Very generous of you on a random Monday stream. Thank you so much, dude. Space Wolves are more mixed approach compared to World Eaters. The Blood Angels are more appropriate parallel. Correct. No problem with a little bit of gold I've got on the hill. I think I got it. That's a noise, isn't it? Got one of them vortex mixers. Good. This is going to be a painful experience. naturally hope for more world eater stuff like most, but I'm glad you got a good refresh for wolves. They look more Viking than dog too. Yeah, I really wanted more world eater stuff. I think I was one of those people that sat in the camp of I didn't expect more. I expected a single character because Games Workshop seems to have this issue with doing anything decent for chaos ever. Because I would suggest even the Emperor's Children range is a bit thin. So I was one of those people that sat in the camp of expected nothing, expected a single character, and yet somehow was still incredibly disappointed when that's all we got. Like, very disappointed when that's all we got. But not surprised. So using some Avalon Sunset here just to get some base on the yellow. I think what I should have probably done is taken it in the airbrush booth and airbrushed it down and just being careful not to overspray, but live and learn. Live and learn. Big sad. Disappointment is real, 100%. I was in the camp too. I expected a character. I was surprised it was £8. 10,000 surprised me much, so really no change in my life. Well, the other thing as well, I think, is, if I'm honest with you, is to just do an £8 character from a business perspective is also pretty dumb. So yeah, all right, cool. You have to design and develop one single miniature. Okay, I get it. However, what do most World Eaters players probably now need for their armies? 2 or 3 £8 characters, and that's it. Like, there's not a good way to increase sales to existing customer base, is it really? I feel like it was a bit of a dumb play. But hey. What do I know? What do I know? Question. Answer. Well, as much as I love my worldies, I do actually think I'm probably, if I'm being brutally honest, going to enjoy painting the Space Wolves more simply because there's less trim. Off the gym, how dare you? Supposed to be back in the gym tomorrow and I'm constantly putting it off. If 2 units are in melee on the same unit and we kill that unit, can the solitaire go and fight another unit in a consolidation? Yes and no. So I think I know what you're asking, and the answer is probably yes. If you charge 2 units, right. We have Mr. Silverman, okay? Stood there on his own, like a Billy No Mates. And then we have Mr. the Gravis Man with the red shoulder pad and Mr. the non-Gravis Man with the red shoulder pad, okay? Here's some I prepared earlier, right? And these both charge, and we have Mr. the Unpainted Chaos Man, who's a whole different unit, right? So these two charge in, 2 separate units. Charge this one guy, okay? I'm not in engagement range of this man from a separate unit because I am more than an inch away from his base. This guy fights first, right? And kills Mr. the Silverman, okay? This guy is yet to fight. Because he is yet to fight and he charged, you can then activate him. By activating him, you can pile in 3, then fight, then consolidate. The requirements, however, for piling in 3 are that you must be able to pile into engagement range of an enemy unit. Okay? So he piles in 3 inches into engagement range of that enemy unit. Now, although he didn't charge that enemy unit, he can now activate and fight. So he is allowed to now fight that enemy unit. Obviously, the downside is that enemy unit is also allowed to fight him. And because he charged, he does still have the fight's first bonus. Alright? However, let's say Mr. the Silverman has... How's the best way to word this one, right? Right, we're like this, okay? So, we have Mr. Silverman's unit and we have Chaos Man unit, okay? These 2 guys now charge, right? We charge here. That's as far as we can make it, okay? We're more than 3 inches away from Mr. the Chaos Man, okay? This man here now fights. This man here now fights and kills him. He piles in here. He can go in engagement range and fight either. That's fine, okay? If he's in engagement range of both. He has to be in engagement range of both, right? There are circumstances, however, where he comes in here, he activates piles in here, right? They die. He consolidates. He's already fought. So he obviously still can't fight. You with me? I hope that kind of makes sense. But yeah, as long as when you activate, you haven't fought yet, and when you pile in, you can pile in within 3 of that enemy unit, yes, you can fight. There's some other janky things that happen here as well, where these are the same unit. So you've charged. That's as far as you can get because you're the same unit. When you pile him in, you can pile him in this way, even though this unit's not dead, and you can still fight both. That's okay. All right. Hope that clears up a bit. There you go. You're a legend for this. No. Yeah, look, the game... There's no legend status. The game is complicated. The game is not the easiest thing in the world to understand if you don't play it frequently. We get to play it frequently. We're very lucky we get to play it frequently. But the game is complicated. I have no dramas at all with taking time out to help people understand what is a complicated game in the hope that it improves their overall experience and they enjoy it more. And I also don't think that's something that you should ever have to pay for.
Live session with the Dempsey Academy.
Now, what I don't have, and I never probably ever will have, because I don't care enough to be that person, is I don't have the accolades to my name to say that I can help coach you win a GT. I think if I went full try hard for a whole year, including lists, etc., I still don't think I'd be able to win a GT. Because I just don't think I can ever get in that mindset. The game for me is about fun. But you're more than welcome. Is the eligibility for pilot determined by unit or by model? Some models are based, but others not. Yes, it's model by model basis. Pilot and consolidate is done on a model by model basis. So if you're base to base contact with one model, he obviously can't pilot because he's already base to base. But if his oppo is stood behind him and is not base to base contact, he can pilot. He is eligible. There is a goblin. You have to consolidate into the closest model, is that right? Yes. But there are circumstances where you can consolidate into the closest model and still make base to base with another model from a different squad. Yes. Well done. Yes, but you can't have it in here, okay? The rare downside about daytime streaming is that the children are not in their bed. I could quite happily do more daytime streaming if it meant I could do less nighttime streaming. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I wonder which Space Wolf character would be legendary. That was being talked about in the Fanes earlier. I'm quite nervous for that. If we get a cool new Logan, I'll be happy. I need to ditch the old jumper. Oh yeah, the camera will be out of focus because I changed it for that lesson. What's your grey paint scheme? Well, currently it's just Mechanica Standard Grey. I'm going to be putting a wash on it quite soon, and I'm imagining I'm going to use non-oil over everything but the bronze and the yellow. And then I'm going to be edging up with Dawnstone and then probably Administratum and then a dot of Eshin. I'd like to see, yeah, I'd like to see Bjorn stay. I'd like to see him get a new model, Redemptor size, Bjorn specific, not Redemptor with one bit stuck on front and arm panel. I'd like him to stay. I'd like to see Arjak stay. 2 new scaled up Terminator models would be nice. Plus probably Nigel in there as well, Najal. Ragnar's obviously staying because he's already Primaris. I'm not bothered about Murderfang. I think Lucas the Trickster's probably going, isn't he? Let's be honest. Let that layer dry. I think that probably should be bronze. Little teeth bit on the fucking feet are supposed to be bronze, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Ugh. I've got to decide what colour I'm going to do this plinth that you sit on. What an idea. Pilot questions got us thinking. You're very welcome. That's a stream idea, isn't it? Go in the studio, get some models and some terrain, and just sit there and wait for questions to be asked. What do I do these things? I didn't. It's a terrible idea to start painting these. I should have just left them and gone, yeah, not doing that. One of you fuckers decided this was also a good idea. Okay. It wasn't that bad. I put a picture in the gallery the last time I tried Space Wars long ago. I'm actually not the world's worst painter. My biggest issue has always been motivation. Is there a newish studio tour? No, I can do one though, if people care. I could do a members only video behind the scenes. Vlad, thank you for the 5 gifted, you fucking hero. Up to 25, ignore the tracker. Mega! Oh, this is a fiddly bit. A fiddly bit with much risk as well. We've already got a bit in there, so we're going to get some water. Loosen off some of the black. Turn it into almost a wash. So when I go back in here now. Tidy up that little bit of messed up red, you see? I would be interested. I've only just caught up with the first one like over a year ago. There. Right, I think I have to do the lower piece as well, which is the bit I'm absolutely dreading. I may need a smaller brush. The one there. A 000 there. Where's my 0? Here he is. I'm going to try with this one to start with. This is a very delicate part. There's a bit inside the leg, inside here. I've instantly overdone it, but I can tidy that in a way which I'm happy with. Now, I think most of the time I know I'm going to mess up somewhere. It's just messing up in a way in which I know I'm okay to fix it. Which I'd argue is exactly what this part is here. I knew it was going to go wrong. I knew it was going to be a tough arse. How can I do it in such a way that I think I can fix it up? I think I've done that. If they release Bjorn Special Wolves Dreadnought Redemptive Retires kit, I would start this army. Fair. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. It's just when you look at what they did to the poor Death Company dreadnoughts, I'm a bit nervous for it. Great model for some conversion, this one. Or the Dreadnought. This is an absolute fucking fight right now. Get back in there with the red now. Fuck me. Okay, we're starting to hit the levels of definition I'm happy with. I almost definitely should put my glasses on for this bit. Okay. I do also note that the handguard on the sword is a very deep faded red, so we'll start off with a red and then we can work up to it. That's far too watered down. I've never really painted anything to box art before. This isn't quite box art because I'm not doing the baby blue. Copying the rest of it's quite interesting. We'll have to glaze that down with some black later. Okay. Far too strong right now. Right, we need to get some silver out for all the little bits that attach all the things to all the stuff. Clear? Clear. Good. Before we do that, I feel like especially this part of his Frostfang fancy sword needs a love. It's nowhere near bronze enough. A little bit of love as well, just to strengthen some of that colour. Then we could do is going back in with the yellow from the final, hopefully a final layer. Beautiful. I'm gonna try and put this back on low. Focus and see how it does. Worth it to get a strong yellow. It's worth it. I'm sorry, I know I keep going quiet, but I have to concentrate. Started playing Wolves in 5th, had a 7-year hiatus whilst I travelled. I loved the Norse routes and was okay with Thunderwolf Cavalry when they first came out, but hate painting them. Can't wait for new models. Good man. Welcome back from your hiatus, my friend. Welcome back from your hiatus. Is the plan to do pure Space Wolf kits in Heresy Scheme or do 13th Company with mixed Chaos parts? Pure Space Wolf. All Heresy Scheme. Pure Space Wolf. It's the year of Chaos after all. Lol. You alright? Yeah, what's up? I may have to go soon. How are we doing, team, anyway? Bit of barbed wire on his base, isn't there? Right. Just touching up the silver bits here, the little details where they are mounted on the ropes. Trying to get nice coverage, so whatever angle you look at them from, they're painted. Before we move on to the bone colours. Is this playlist on Spotify? I don't think it's on Spotify. I don't know if it's on Spotify. It might be. If you exclamation mark music, it'll give you the link to the guy's I think website, and you can. I know you can find him on Spotify. Okay, let's get some bone colour out. I think we're going to base... With Zandri? I'll go base with Karak. I might base with Karak Stone. No, I'll base Zandri. Stick to what we know. Now we got to colour in all these little bone details. Let's get there. Little tooth next to it. These are probably going to take a couple of coats because Zandri, even as a base paint, is a lot more translucent, especially to the dark colours. Get these last little bits of details on before we start adding some washes. I should probably wash off camera in the hope that I can get it dried for this evening. Oh, that's an awkward one to get to, isn't it?
We have fought side by side, and if the gods will it, I'm ready for Valhalla.
I'd love a cup of tea. Captain Morgan, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. We just having a nightmare with the kids, so I thought I'd listen for a minute. I'm sorry. When I say having a nightmare, they're just brilliant kids. To show some support for starting up there. Well, starting up is kind of the way. Like, this is the 3rd or 4th time I've tried to start them, as I've explained already. But I've always struggled in the past with the werewolf vibe. I'm not into the werewolf vibe. I am, however, hugely into the Viking vibe. Which may or may not have been obvious if you look at the channel. If we get more Viking, if we get more Space Wolf units and they're more Viking than they are anything else. I said this earlier in the stream, and I legitimately mean this. There is a risk this ends up becoming my new favourite army in the world ever. One of those rare situations where they could potentially dethrone the Eldar. Yes, please. Can I have some honey in it as well, though? And I don't want decaf. Thank you. Hey, Awful Gamer, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thanks, TJ. Is there an agenda for the rest of the day, or is there an evening topic? I mean, it's just going to be me painting wolves and chatting to you people. When I say wolves, I mean this singular wolf. Getting excited about potential Odin Russ. It make me very happy. Good so far, thanks, man. Some messy parts of the game I have to fix already on the yellow, which is upsetting the zero, so it's flat to play. joining her. Not on. Lucy's joined with some coffee.
I've just said to the boys, I'm going to have a coffee and congratulate myself that I haven't killed Ben.
Ben's our youngest.
I think he's trying to confirm where my breaking point is
Is
today.
he?
Yeah.
You can ask me, I can tell him that.
Yeah.
It's very peaceful in here, Luce.
Yeah, it's nice.
Don't want you ruining my positive chi, alright? Thank you, Power Pilgrim, for 5 gift memberships. Legends. We are, as a matter of fact, on some gifted memberships. The tracker says 42, it's actually 40. Well, hero, thank you very much, man. Hawkun Legend. I am painting Ragnar, correct. The Springies, thank you for 5 gifted. What legend? Too kind, team. I didn't even say anything. Too kind. Sat here vibing right now. We're here, eh? Prepping for new walls. I'm just excited for new walls. I don't know about prepping so much because who knows when they're actually coming, but looking at that roadmap they showed, I wouldn't mind betting they're not too far away. But when we do get them, I very much want to be the person that paints them. I was thinking of doing a Wolf Spear chapter for mine, white and black with red accents. Sounds cool. I'm here for it. It's been a beautiful day here, team.
I think I've burnt on the back of my neck doing the gardening.
Right. That's a silly idea.
Mm.
What did you do that for?
Because I thought I wasn't annoyed enough today. So just to really tip me over the edge, I'll burn myself.
You woke up in such a positive mood as well.
I know.
Getting there, team. We are getting there. Thank you for my tea, coffee, hot drink.
Coffee.
Oh. Warms my heart. Yeah. God damn. In the zone today, Luce.
I really wanted to do some sewing for my hobby time. And then I went upstairs, got my fabric out, and I thought, what am I doing? I'm already over 50% irritable. Why am I getting the sewing out? Put it away, go and stomp around in the garden for a bit.
Would the sewing make you more irritable?
Yeah, because I'd fuck up my project because I'm already irritable. But
Yeah,
nature's quite forgiving. It'll grow anyway, so bit of soil there, brush that over there. I'm clearly very talented at growing because my compost bin is currently growing stuff, so...
Luce, what is your favourite mini that Liam has painted?
Yeah, Luce. What's your favourite mini that I've painted?
You painted them years ago. We lived in the other house and they were gold and teal. They were like a... I think you took inspiration from like sort of Egyptian theme.
Golden teal.
Yeah,
Thousand Suns.
they were beautiful. I think they're still my favourite.
Was it Thousand Suns?
It was the one where you stole my garden broom handle, cut it up into small blocks so you could use the blocks as the thing you hold while you paint.
Yeah, Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
Much cheaper than painting handles, that was.
Obviously, yeah. Yeah. But I liked the colour scheme on that. Blue and gold always goes really well together.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the recent elf that you kept telling me to enter into a painting competition.
That one's pretty good. In terms of how far you've grown, that one, but for the talent that... I don't know if you hid it from me or if I just walked past your Warhammer desk all the time because we had young children and it was just the biggest distraction. Those ones really caught my eye.
Didn't even know you'd paid attention yet.
I do. I see you.
Oh. Someone's got to, I guess.
What's your favourite thing that I've cooked for you?
Chinese takeaway.
Mm-hmm. Do you hear that, chat? I pay attention, and he just thinks he's being a funny prick when he says stuff like that. I'm already like 80% irritable.
It was 50% a minute ago. Favourite thing you've cooked? The problem is, there's a lot.
Ah, not the mackerel pasta.
It was incredible. That was one of the ones floating around in my mind. The problem is, because you cook so much and you do so many things from fresh, I'll be like, it'll be the mackerel pasta. Then next week you'll knock a dish out. I'll be like, no, it's this. It's this. And then the week after we'll do a different. You're like, no, maybe it's this.
No, it's this.
Yeah. So I really struggle with picking one, to be honest with you. very much struggle with picking a single thing because you make so much stuff and so much of it's from scratch as well.
I quite like the biscuits I made last week.
These two friends had grown up in the small village of Stavanger, where they had heard tales of the great lands beyond the fjords, filled with untold treasures and adventures. They had dreamt of sailing the seas and exploring new lands, and this was their chance. So they packed their belongings, said their goodbyes to their families and friends, and stepped on board the longship.
Quick recovery. It's true though. Luce makes loads and loads and loads of stuff fresh all the time.
And the ship sailed forward. The sea was calm and the sun shone bright.
So I feel like picking a single thing today
Valor and
wouldn't be fair because
their spirit,
I remember something that you made a couple of weeks ago.
promise of adventure. Days passed and the ship sailed further out to sea. Then one morning they saw a great whale reach the surface, its tail flapping in the water. The Vikings marveled at the sight, for they knew it was a good omen. They took it as a sign that the gods were watching over them and would guide them safely on their journey. As they continued sailing, they knew they were heading for the land of fire and ice, a land of great mystery and danger. But they were undeterred, for they were Vikings,
Just adding some red to the gems right now.
fearless.
See how it looks.
After many weeks of sailing,
Picked a brighter red from what I've used for the hilt and for the belt so far.
the land was covered
Because they are diamond gems.
and the mountains rose.
So I was thinking about doing them green. So I want to get the red on and see how it looks.
The Vikings knew they had reached their destination. With hearts pounding
Now on the box art they're red,
towards the shore,
but they're a very muted red and I don't like it.
Thor and Esmond jumped out, their swords at the ready, ready to explore this new land. And so the two Viking warriors set out to the unknown, ready
I'm going
to
for a
face
brighter
any
one.
challenge that lay ahead, for they were Vikings and they were destined for greatness.
Espen, it's time. We must leave the village and make way for the ship. It's a day's journey. We must gather the crew and supplies.
This model, by the way, chat, stunning.
Thor, I have finished your axe. Here, may this axe be a symbol of strength and protection in all your battles and travels.
Are biscuits cookies or are they actually biscuits? Sconish things of butter. No, they're what you call cookies in America.
Truly impressive.
What do you guys call cookies then? Because biscuits and cookies are different over here.
Today we bid farewell to our homeland and set out to discover the land of fire and ice.
Because the scone things are the scones.
What they call them is wrong because it's called English. So you know
Farewell, my love.
what we say is correct.
I shall see you in my dreams. May the gods be with you. Take care of Henry.
May the gods watch over you.
Has anybody ever tried growing rosemary
Protection and strength.
just by putting the seed in the ground in their garden and then leaving it?
Espen,
How temperamental is rosemary? Because I put a thyme shrub in the ground and that's done amazing. So I'm thinking just bosh it in because the thyme's doing great. So the rosemary will do great. Surely?
My heart will be with you. Always.
If fate is not allowed to meet again in this life, then
Fucking sick.
where we will feast and fight together in eternal glory.
Ooh, I've only grown it from cuttings. Did you... So, when you grow it from cuttings, did you put the twig bit in the water for a root to be encouraged and then pot that and then plant that? Or did you do it a different way?
This land is like nothing we ever
Oh,
seen before. We must explore this land, Desmond. Who knows what treasures and adventures.
You're right, Thor.
see this shit chat? Looks good, doesn't it?
This land is truly magnificent.
And we have only just scratched the surface. Who knows what on top of those layers?
Let's find out, my friend.
It might be better to grow the seed first before planting it. You can put the seed in a Ziploc bag with a wet napkin and tape it to a window that faces the sun. Oh. I do that with coriander and other herbs. Okay. Okay.
Helpful?
Yeah. Yeah. Scones are dry and gross. Cookies are sweet and yummy, while biscuits are light and fluffy. Oh no, biscuits aren't fluffy over here. Scones are gross. We did a Ziploc bag taped to the window for a different experiment about the water cycle. So on the bag you get a Sharpie and you at the top of the bag you draw a cloud, and then in one corner you can draw like farmland or rolling hills, and then in the other corner you draw the sea, and then you just pour a really small amount of water into the bag, tape it to the window that faces the sun, and you just watch the evaporation and condensation process happen over and over. It's pretty cool. The boys got bored really quickly, but I thought it was pretty for a couple of weeks.
I'm sure you did.
Apparently, people who like coriander / cilantro, it's a evolutionary glitch. So cavemen never liked it, and as evolution has happened, some of us like it, some of us don't, and the ones that do like it, we have a glitch in our coding, if you like, that means we like the taste of coriander. I love it. I could eat it like a bag of crisps and rock it.
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, I'm like that with Marmite. Yeah, it's all right. I don't detest it. I don't love it.
Right, team. I think the base colours pretty much are there. I need to strengthen the bone on the base piece and do the actual rubble colour. Touch up some of the silver actually on the barbed wire where I hit it with the bone colour to get in the nooks and crannies. But I do think we're pretty much there on the basing, the base colours. So I need to add a couple more layers on the old Xandridath. We'll try and bust up some of that famous Gobi brown for the rest of it. There's always a nightmare getting out of this. Oh no. Straight out this time. Get one of our slightly larger brushes.
My raspberry twig has sprung into action as well. I'm hopeful this year that I get more than 2 raspberries from it.
You probably got more than 2 raspberries last year, but with children and a dog, you just didn't see them.
Ah, yes, the fluffy black and white slug that for weeks I was wondering what the fuck was going on with my sweet corn. And then I caught her eating the sweet corn leaves.
Yeah.
And then I had to essentially make some kind of creche for the sweet corn, but the season had been and gone, so it was too late. I was so mad.
Yeah, going out there and be like, that's a fucking big caterpillar.
Yeah, I get actual teeth marks. What is going on with the sweet corn? But I did learn last year that you, when you grow sweet corn, it relies on wind pollination. So you can't plant them too far apart because then when they sway in the wind, the pollen won't fall on the other plants. It'll just fall on the ground. So my first year growing sweet corn, I didn't leave it long enough, and there's a poem out there somewhere about the hair of corn and what colour it goes, and that's how you know you can take the husks off. So I didn't leave it long enough. The second year I grew it, I left it too long, and when I pulled back the cob, some woodlouse came out, so I left that too long. The third year, I planted them too far apart, and Emmy ate the leaves that I later found out. So this year,
Yeah.
I'm hoping, and apparently it takes about 5 years to see the benefit of growing, because years 1 to 4 you're doing everything wrong, or you're learning, or the weather's been against you. So by year 5 you should have enough knowledge that you get a really good go at it.
The first time I ever grew anything was a giant strawberry bush. It was very successful, and I quit after that.
Yeah, I'm retiring now. End on a high.
Railway stuff, completed it, mate.
But But it's a shame because we don't really have people around us that grow anymore. So we're all kind of learning from scratch again, and you'd think by now we'd all be amazing growers. How many of our grandparents grew and how many of their parents grew, but now we're all back to the start again. Some of us have got people in our family or around us that have kept on growing. It was shockingly quite far through my sort of gardening education that I found out if your winter isn't cold enough, then the disease in the soil is still there when you're planting.
We're getting there, team. I'm going to correct this tracker because it's showing one over. We're back to being accurate. I need to go back in with some Xandri dust and some metal soon. We'll do the metal in a moment. This is the Gobi Brown colour that I use on the base, which is one of 2 non-Games Workshop paints that I use. Gobi Brown is from Scale Colour. And I will dry brush Xandri dust on top of it before I then wash everything with Rhinox hide. Which kind of ties it all in with the stone colour that we put on here. So if we dry brush the Xandri dust quite heavily dry brush the Gobi Brown with the Xandri dust, it ties that to that. And then when you wash it all with Rhinox, that brings it all in and ties it all together. I don't want to put too much time and effort into the base because it's a fucking base ultimately. I'd like the metal bits to be metal and then the rubble bits to be rubble, and that's about it. There's a skull in here that we'll do a little bit more work on. But mostly, we're just going to get solid colour, nothing unpainted on the base, and make it look kind of tidy. We won't knock it back with the Rhinox hide till right at the end, so it will take a while before you guys will see the benefit. And the only reason why I'll leave it right at the end is because if I then fuck up, I'd have to do it all over again. So we do, however, have all the base colours on, I think, nice and tidy on the main model now, which is pleasant. So I think what we're going to do this evening when we come back is we're probably going to run a load of Null Noil in. And I think actually what I'm going to do, looking at this, is I'm going to group wash and recess wash. I'm not going to just cover the whole thing because I don't want really Null Noil in all of the bronze. I want that to be Reikland Flesh Shade because it gives it a nice warm hue. I don't want Null on here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I think what I might end up doing is Null the teeth. And then I'm going to probably end up glazing the main yellow portion. So we're going to be quite selective where we put our washes later, which means it might not be too much of a problem in terms of drying size. This is a new sculpt. No, this is Ragnar. So this is a model that's been available for ages from GW. Ragnar Blackmane. So... I'm hoping to use the washes to pick some detail out here before I start banging in glazes and stuff. We're doing alright, aren't we? We're not doing too badly. Not doing too badly at all. It's not exactly as I'd like it to be, but it's not terrible. Is it likely to get any model? This one won't, no. Ragnar is Primaris, and he's quite newish. So Ragnar won't see a new model. What camera do you use for filming? Looks good. I have two, both the front and the top down are both Canon EOS Rs. So they're digital SLRs, DSLRs. And I buy them second hand from a place in the UK called MVP because they're expensive. Second hand, they're about 700 quid without a lens. The lens is then even more expensive again. So this top-down lens is like, I think it was like 1,800 quid for the lens. So about 2.5K a camera, roughly. I think we're looking all right there, though, aren't we? I think we're looking, in terms of base code, I think I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm quite happy to come back this evening and carry on. And now I've got some more colours on. I think I'm much happier with the grey. To start off with, I was not sure on the grey because it's very close to actual plastic grey. But now I'm quite happy with it. So I'm going to come in later. I'm going to recess wash and block wash. I'll block wash all the bone and stuff. I'll tidy up the base before I do that when I come back. I'll start glazing down the saw, but I want to get the wash on first in case I make a mistake before I start glazing. Last thing I want to do is glaze and then fuck it up and have to start it again. So we'll just check over the yellow and strengthen it when I come back later this evening. And then we'll use some washes to start tying it all together. But in principle, I'm quite happy at the moment. I can put some nylon oil in on these bits. I can panel line the nylon oil on all the armour. And then we can tidy it up with Mechanicum Standard Grey afterwards, which is quite nice. But here he is so far. This is Ragnar so far. He is a stunning kit. And then once he's painted up, we can start painting up the cloak. That won't be tonight, but we'll get this base coated at some point in the next week. And I'll probably airbrush the red on the underside here to save me some time. We've blended the join together on this piece here, so you can't see where it joins anymore. I've never really painted fur. That's going to be interesting. And then I also, like I said earlier, talking about painting fur, I also have this one to do as well, which is the old his right shoulder pad, and the piece that sits across his chest. This sits across here. Like that. So there will be things I'm painting that you won't fully be able to see. So every now and again we just check the fitment to make sure we're not completely buggering ourselves. But he essentially, he says, now struggling. I don't want to push it too hard. That essentially fits there like that. You see? So eventually that goes on like that, with this beautiful flowing cape on Ragnar. I just strengthen the red inside here a little bit more. So you can see that I've painted it to make it look super fancy. But that'll go on eventually there. I'll get that painted at some point soon. Loving it. And then I've got his other shoulder pad to clip out and base coat, and his backpack to clip out and base coat, and his helmet to his head to clip out and base paint. In good time. We'll just worry about these bits for now. Yeah, there you go. That's the progress so far, team. Progress so far. Getting there. Loving it. Right, cool. Thank you, you wonderful humans, for hanging out on the daytime stream. I am going to call it that. I was actually originally told myself I'd do a couple of hours and finish 3:30, and it's 4:30. But I've got some stuff to do. I've got some errands to run before dinner and then this evening's stream. Look at the lid. The wet palette lid is missing. I don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, what's your method for blending joins like the cloak there? It's clean. So, I haven't got a good example. But what I'll do is I clean, obviously, both pieces of model before I glue them. I'll glue them as inline as possible as I can. And I'll use, normally, some Contactor Professional here to glue that. And what I kind of want is where the join is on the show, I want it to the glue to come out a little bit, really. If not, keep it like a nice clean where my two fingers are joined there. And what I'll do is where that join is I'll just take the needle of this and I'll just run it down so the glue fills that gap. And then I leave it 24 hours. And then I have piles of different grain sandpaper. And it goes all the way down to like finer versions. And then I just gently file it down. Sometimes you can get away with also just using a scalpel and just running if this is the join line here, you just run the flat blade of the scalpel across the join like that once you've got the glue on. And just gently do that. And keep, basically want to keep going round the bend like this as you do it. And eventually the glue essentially fills it itself. Because it takes the plastic and it melts it, obviously, and it creates kind of like a filler, I guess. That's how I do it, anyway. There's probably loads of ways of doing it. That's just how I do it. People use sprue goo, so they take a bottle of this stuff, which is the Tamiya thin cement. When it gets to where this is now, halfway, they'll chop bits of sprue into it, and the glue will melt the sprue down, and they'll mix it up, and you end up with a pot of grey, liquid plastic, and you can use that as well. That's another thing you can do. For me, this is messier, so I don't like it as much. But if I've got big gaps, like when you've got big gaps in things like some more glue in that. When you get big gaps in things like repulsors and tanks and stuff, this stuff then comes into play. Because what you've essentially done is you've made yourself liquid plastic. But yeah, to get where this is, which the join line. So if I show you up close, I don't know if it's going to focus for you. You can see the glue here. Right? I don't know if you can see the shine of the glue in this corner here. I didn't blend all the way up to here because there's no point, because this bit sits on his hips. It's largely pointless. So all I did was the join line is about there. All I do is take the heel of this, I just gently blend it like this to get rid of all that glue. Or you take the tip, just the tip, you do the same thing on the other side. And then what you can do is you can work out all those scratch markings. You get a nice smooth blend at the end. All right, beautiful. Anyway, I'll be back this evening at 7:30 is the normal time. It might be a little bit later because dinner and stuff, but 7:30 is the normal time. Another hour or two of me painting, me hobbying. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually enjoying this far more than I thought I would. Really enjoying painting a Space Marine, and I didn't think I'd ever say that, but I think it's because it's Ragnar and it's Space Wolves. I'm quite happy with it. So thanks for hanging out today, you wonderful human beings. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for the 45 gifted for the off the cuff stream. I'll be back this evening, like I say, at 7:30. Then tomorrow, April kicks in, and a new month starts all over again. We have a Liam and Joe show at 1:30. We have a live game of Warhammer 40k in the evening, and I can actually tell you who's playing because I did the schedule today. So tomorrow is me, Brom, and Joe. Joe and Brom are playing each other. Thursday is me, Paddy, and Joe. Me and Paddy are playing each other. And then next Tuesday we have special guests from the Hobby Collab channel, all the way over from America Land, from California IA, coming to hang out with us for the day. So we've got we actually be having an AOS stream as well. So look at that. All right. Thank you people for hanging out with us. Hopefully I'll see you tonight at 7:30 for the second part of this. I don't know how many parts there'll be, but for the second part of this. At the moment, my intent is every Monday hobby show to be doing progressing Ragnar, because we need to get him to a point where he looks like this. Big Ragnar. Alright? Someone sent me this. I don't know who. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. So we need to get to a point we've got a big Ragnar. How cool is big Ragnar as well, by the way? Oh, love it. Yeah, cool. You people are amazing. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one.